friends, happy Thursday. Just let me make sure that this pops up before we get started officially. Just give it one more minute to pop up on my screen. Happy Thursday, my friends. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Tammy Savello, and every Thursday on YouTube at 11 a.m. Pacific time, I show you how to make a few fun projects. Although this week we are joining at a little bit of later time, and I appreciate that accommodation. And I see that we are on screen and good to go. It has been a while since I have done fun folds, and today we are making 3 fun fold projects I have not done before, and I'm so excited to share with you. But let me show you which bundle that we are working with today. It is the Seaside Wishes Hybrid Bundle that I'm pairing up with the Country Woods 12x12 designer paper, and I really thought that these patterns give that woody, beachy vibe, so I'm excited to pair the projects with that. Hybrid bundle, what does that mean? It means that the bundle has coordinating dies, but it also has a 3D embossing folder that not only cuts, but it cuts and embosses at the same time. And I'm really excited to play with that today, but let me just quickly show you what it does. So let me just show you, this is actually basic beige on the colors that we're gonna be using today, but this is what your cardstock looks like when it's just embossed through the embossing machine. But what the hybrid bundle does is it has a coordinating die that fits right in here. Let's line that up, and it clicks right into place right there, and you put your embossing folder or your cardstock right on top of that, close that up, run it through your machine, and it cuts and embosses at the same time. And I'm so excited. I love our hybrid bundles, and it also leaves a on the negative, it leaves kind of like a cool little background. So you could even stamp into these negative pieces and make a fun little background as well. But let me get this out of the way. And now you can, not only can you can purchase this bundle individually, but I highly, highly recommend that you purchase this at the bundled 10% discounted price. And for the remainder of the month, you get an additional extra 10% off of all stamp and die bundles, including our cut and emboss machine. My big guy is, our standard cut and emboss machine is a little big and bulky to put in the camera, but I do have our mini, and it is 10% off of our minis as well. And you can choose between white and boho blue. I might get another one and get the boho blue just because I'm a blue girly. So definitely want to look into that. And don't worry, all of the supplies are listed in the description box below, including clickable links to my online store. Let me just say hello to my friends. Hello, Shannon. Hello, Jan. Hello, Patty. Welcome in, my friends. Hope you are all doing well. And let me get this out of the way, and then we can bring in the fun stuff, the projects. We are all about the fun folds. Fun fact about me is, for a while there, I was doing Fun Fold Fridays, and I had stopped for a while, and I think I might have to bring that back, but I will go ahead and also put in the description box below, I have a playlist of all of my fun folds, so you can watch all of my previous fun folds. But these are the ones that we are creating today, and again, like I said, we are using that Seaside Wishes Bundle. And this one flips up and then comes in at an angle cut. So an angle cut flip. And then this one was inspired by my dear friend Lisa Curcio, and she called it a fold and tuck, I believe. So this little piece flaps up and then it tucks under that fold. So that is project number 2. And number 3, I don't even really know what to call this one. Maybe like a double-sided fold. So just something like that, and it stands up just like so. And the only one that doesn't really, oh no, this one does stand up because this one can kind of stand up. So all 3 do stand up. So I'm excited about that. Let's go ahead and get started on our first project. Good morning, Jenny. Welcome in. Oh, thank you, Patty. I know the mini is so adorable. I definitely gonna order the boho blue because I'm a blue girly. So like I said, we're gonna be doing this angle cut fun fold for starters. So let's bring in our parts and pieces. And we will go over all the sizes and dimensions. Don't worry, they will be on my blog at cardsbytlc tomorrow, the 7th, June 7th. So be sure to come back if you miss any sizes and dimensions. So we are starting with basic beige. I am actually learning to really, really love this color. At first, I didn't really care for it, but I'm really starting to fall in love with it, and being paired with certain of our designer papers, I'm really loving this, and it's great for the whole beachy vibe. So we have a standard card base, and that is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. We have, making sure I'm giving you the right, we have another card base that is cut at 3 inches by 8.5, and that is scored at 4 1/4 as well. We have 2 basic white panel pieces that are cut at 2 3/4 by 4. And then we have our designer paper that we cut at 4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to start off by cutting our card base, or our card base and our designer paper. So let's go ahead and bring in this for reference, because I kind of have to look at the way I have this cut. So let's bring in our trimmer, and we're going to kind of lay this like that and see where we're going to start from that corner and cut down to that, because we're going to remove that top half. So I'm going to come in here and we're going to try to get this on frame, and I'm going to start with that bottom left corner going to our crease edge. And what I'd like to do is bring in, anytime I'm doing an angle cut, I don't want to go from edge to edge, because that crinkles the edges, especially on our designer paper. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to bring in our blade, our cutting blade, make sure that that is lined up, and then I'm going to anchor down that cut, and then I'm going to go up and then down. That way you're not crinkling up any edges. And there is our cut. So I think I'll save that for another project. And then I'm going to do the same concept with our designer paper. Come in from corner to corner and anchor down in the center. And then I'm going to go up and down. And then there are our 2 designer pieces that are going to go right there, and just like so. So that is all for our cutting pieces. Oh, good. I'm glad you like that tip, Shannon. I learned that the hard way. I used to crinkle up those edges, and they would just get all icky and gunky and stuff like that. So I'm going to come in with our Tom, and you definitely want to use Tombow glue on these types of folds when you're laying down the designer paper, just to allow that wiggle room. So I'm going to come in here and lay that down and leave just a nice little border, like maybe 1/8 of an inch around the edge right there. And then I'm going to come in here and add that. Let's Let's bring in that bone folder and crease our edge there, lay that flat. Come in here and add some Tom to our back there. And if you're new to my channel, I say this pretty much at every live, but I have named my adhesive Tom for Tombo. So he is named in my craft room. Now I'm gonna come in here and we are gonna start decorating and stamping our sentiments. So we're gonna start by stamping our sentiment in Calypso Coral, and that is in Your Friendship is the Best Gift. So I'm just gonna come in here, and then I have our cute little starfish, and then these specks of sand are going to be our focal points. Shannon, you love Tom? I love Tom too. He's very reliable, though he gets a little rambunctious at times. Right there in the center, and then I'm going to bring in Crumb Cake, and that is going to be used for our sand. And that's just going to go right there in the corner. And then I am going to bring in this work surface here just because I'm going to be stamping off my starfish, because it was just a little starky and bold. I just wanted something light and not so harsh. So there is that. I think I still need this. Yes. And then the Hi Friend sentiment, I thought the sentiments for this bundle, just let me grab this really quick. They're great, but they're not really versatile. So I paired it with the Wonderful Thoughts, and then I have our little Hi Friend. So I'm going to be using that, and then I'm also going to be using You Can Do Amazing Things on Another Project. So I paired it with the Wonderful Thoughts because these have fantastic sentiments in them. Okay, now we're going to bring in our other piece of basic white, and then I'm just going to come in and stamp all around the sand. And I'm just going to do it, not even really paying attention, just very haphazardly on my cardstock, because some of this is going to be covered up with our sand dollars. And with our sand dollars, just to save us some time, I have pre-stamped our sand dollars in Basic Beige, did that tone on tone, and I have pre-cut that out. And then I have also pre-cut our starfish in Calypso Coral. And then I'm going to come in with that Hi Friend sentiment and stamp our sentiments in Calypso Coral. And I just have a piece of strip of scrap basic white paper. Come in there. And then just trim that at an angle cut for the front. And that is all the stamping we need to do. And I almost dropped that. Ooh, that would have been a nightmare. Sorry if you heard our neighbor's birds. It's like a tropical wilderness over there. Okay, then we're just gonna come in here. Let's go ahead and adhere our sentiment on the inside panel piece. These are pretty basic fun folds. I had just never done them before, and I had seen them through other fellow demonstrators, and I fell in love with them. And then come in here with our front panel piece. Sometimes I use Tom and sometimes I don't on the basic white. And hold on just one moment. Let me shut this window. Sorry, our neighbor is deciding to do some cutting of wood at this point in time. Apparently he didn't get my memo. So I hope that's not too loud for you. I have all the windows closed, but I can still hear it. And you're not, please ignore my oopsie on the back. There we go. And you can pop these sand dollars up or you can glue them directly straight down. I like to glue them straight down. But I am going to pop up our starfish. Just add a little Stampin' Dimensional and pop that up. You can't hear it. Okay, good. It was right outside my craft room window, so I needed to close that window for sure. And the reason why I'm popping the starfish up, I just want to tuck my sentiment under the little starfish. And then I can also lift up its little edges there and make it more kind of realistic, maybe. And then I'm going to come in under this starfish like so, and then come in here and add adhesive to the back. I'm glad I didn't do this at 4 o'clock yesterday. At this time it was 92 degrees. So I would have been sweltering and you would have been hearing a fan in the background. So thank goodness today is a lot more cooler. And there we have project number 1. Just a nice, easy, simple fun fold. And I really love this paper because it gives it like that old rustic wood decking for beaches. So there is project number 1, and you can add an embellishment if you would like. It doesn't need it. I really liked the way that none of these really needed embellishments. Okay, we are moving on to our little flap fun fold, and fair disclosure, I'm going to be fixing this, but see how I have this along this edge on the basic white? I need to bump that down to the edge of our card base, and I'll be going over that momentarily. But I just thought I'd add that little coral or the little seaweed. I'm not really a fan of that seaweed, but I wanted to add it just for something, just to use it. I usually like to use all of the pieces, but I don't really know what to do with it, and I haven't really played with it more. I'll find a way to really incorporate that, but this is the card that we're doing now, so let's go over those pieces. And we are going to be cutting at an angle again for this tab piece. So we have our standard card base, and that is cut at 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, and we are scoring it at 3 inches. We have a basic white inside panel piece cut at 4 by 5 1/4. We have a basic beige piece that's right here, and that piece is cut at 3 by 4. We have our front focal basic white piece that is cut at 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. I have our designer paper piece, and that is cut at 2 3/4 by 4, and that is going to go right here on the left hand side of our piece. We have a basic beige square that's cut at 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and we're going to be cutting that off at an angle. And then we have a DSP piece, a 2 by 2, and we're going to be angle cutting that as well. So let's go ahead. I think we'll go ahead and Oh, we got to bring in, oh, with our magic of TV, hello. We have, I have already pre-cut out my sand dollar. And if you notice on here, I added some crumb cake to make it a little bit more realistic. Let's see. You thought that was a square scored on a diagonal and tucked behind. No, I actually just cut it. You could tuck it behind, Patty, but see how it kind of comes a little bit, and it really doesn't allow, and you'll notice when I add it to the edge of the card base, because this piece is pretty long and this is getting bent really well. So you could potentially cut that and scored it and tucked it behind there, but we're actually going to be having it paired up to the edge of the card stock to give it a little bit easier transition on opening the card. But you could potentially do that. So I think we're going to go ahead and add our coral pieces, or our seaweed pieces. See what I mean? I did add it, and I'm okay with maybe keeping it out. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the seaweed piece on the inside? Or should we just maybe stamp another sand dollar? I would love for you guys to know in the comment section, and if you're live, you get the benefit of voting. So if you like the seaweed, hi Kathy, welcome in. Let me know if you like the seaweed, or should we not add the seaweed? You love the pop of color, keep it. Okay, that's kind of where I was leaning towards. I think that's probably what we'll do. And I wanted to use it because why not? So let's go ahead and adhere this inside panel piece. There we go. And then I'm going to start with this longer piece. I really appreciate you guys joining me at the 4 o'clock slot. I know it's not my normal time frame, but I appreciate you coming and watching and adjusting that time frame. But don't worry, we will be back at the 11 o'clock slot next week. Come in like so. It does add color. Thank you, you guys. I appreciate your input on that. It's just a little awkward. It's funny because I had it behind the sand dollar and I thought it looked like an onion or hair coming out of the sand dollar. So it just didn't look natural to me. But my mind wanders crazy ideas. And then we're going to add our little starfish for our pop of color there. And then we're going to come in here and add our designer paper. And then we'll work on the fronts. And I'll show you guys how to do the tuck piece. And then if you notice, I have also pre-cut, I guess it's maybe another part of the sand dollar, or is it a coral piece? I'm not quite sure. I think it's an additional sand dollar. Okay, I'm going to go ahead before we finish up here. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to cut our little edge piece here. And again, just like the last one, we're going to do the anchoring down of when we're cutting our corner to corner. Move our little thing, anchor up and down. And then you have two anchor pieces. So you're kind of killing two birds with one stone. Coming in with our 2 by 2 inch square, tip to tip. And you have 2 extra anchor pieces for another project. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And that will be ready to add at the end. Just like so. And then this way it's going to go to the edge right there. And then that way it'll be easier to lift underneath. So let's go ahead and finish up our center portion here. Let's stamp our sentiment. You absolutely made my day, and that is going to be stamped in Coastal Cabana. Coral. Okay. It is coral. Thank you, guys. I'm not a beach girl. I love the beach, but I don't know all the details of beaches. Maybe that's why I made it like a pinky color. It just looked really pretty. And then I'm going to come in with my little mini blending brush. And we're going to add some color to the center of our sand dollar. And I loved it plain, but I loved just a little bit of pop of color to enhance the sand on the sand dollar. It gives it more of that realistic vibe. Okay. And we are going to it's so funny how I alternate back and forth between Tombow and Seal. No rhyme or reason. Have a nice little border there. And then I'm going to come in here, but I'm not going to add glue to the entire part because that piece, I mean, you could potentially glue that down. It really wouldn't matter, but I'm going to go ahead and just not add glue to that top part. And it really doesn't matter. You could do it either or. I'm just gonna, since I'm putting it together like this, I can always add it later if I wanted to. And then come in here with our little coral piece. And this piece, you definitely want to use a self-adhesive sheet on it. You could potentially just glue it right here, and just if you have a fine tip glue pen, that will work great as well, but it's just a lot easier to use those self-adhesive sheets. And come on, little guy, let go. And that way it just goes down like a sticker. And come in here with our little starfish. And then we're going to come in here and we want to only glue basically this half. So I'm going to just come in here with some seal and just do a couple, maybe 3 strips of that, because you don't want to glue that down to your card base. And then just like so. And then, oh, we're going to come down just a little bit more. Make it more even. There we go. Now here is where, if I came right here and did it right there, it's a lot to get hooked up on. So I'm just going to add some adhesive. You want to do either seal or tear and tape, something, because that flap is going to be used a lot, something that's more sturdy. So I'm just going to come in with some seal. And then I'm going to line that up with the edge of my card base, just like so. And then that leaves it. See what I mean by it being behind the white one on the original, how it bends up a little bit? This has more of a natural lift. It's easier. And in this way, you can kind of bend this up just a little bit. And then that opens and closes more naturally. So there is project number 2. Let's go ahead and move on to project number 3, making sure, oh, no problem, Christine, welcome. Shannon, when my paper would tear, I thought it was the blade, but now you know the trick, it won't tear. Exactly, because those edges are thin. So you want to start in the middle and slide your blade up and down. You love inking the sand dollar as well. So here is project number 3, and it's like just a double, I don't even know, what would you guys call this? A double side fold maybe? And then it stands up like so. And then it can sit on your mantle like this. And that way it's kind of fun and different. And I really loved this paper because it really just screams beachy vibes. So let's go ahead and get started. There's a lot of bits and pieces. There's a lot of sizes and dimensions on this next section. Apparently words are hard. Okay, it's a gatefold. Thank you. A fancy gatefold. How about that, Patty? If we call it a fancy gatefold, that works. We're going to call it fancy gatefold. Thank you, Patty. So we're going to have lots of sizes and dimensions on this next section. So again, all the sizes and dimensions will be on my blog post at cardsbytlc.com tomorrow, the 7th. So just in case you missed some sizes, we've got a lot of bits and pieces. And I'm going to refer this to, and the way I'm going to give you the sizes is, this is going to be panel 1, layer 1, and all of our layers are going to be in crumb cake. So panel 1, layer 1, all of our layer 1s are going to be in crumb cake. So panel 1, layer 1, panel 2, layer 2 with the designer paper, and then inside panel, layer 1 and layer 2. So just so you know, as I'm going over the sizes, but we are going to start with our card base, and our card base is in thick basic whites, and this is going to be cut at 10 3/4 by 5.5. So again, 10 3/4 by 5.5, and we have scored it at 1 5/8, 3 1/4, 7.5, and 9 1/8. And then I just kind of folded both of that second score line in and this end pieces back. So we have a nice little standing piece. So there is our card base. And we are going to be starting with panel 1, layer 1. And this is cut at 3 by 5. And then panel 1, layer 2, which is our designer paper, that is cut at 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. Then we have panel 2, layer 1, and that again is in crumb cake at 2 1/2 by 4 1/2. Panel 2 with our designer paper, layer 2, 2 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then our inside panel, layer 1, 3 by 4 3/4, and then our inside panel, layer 2, is basic white for our sentiment, and that is cut at 2 3/4 by 4 1/2. So those are all of the sizes and dimensions. So let's go ahead and we are going to start by stamping our sentiment. You can do amazing things. And again, that sentiment is from the Wonderful Thoughts, and this does come with coordinating dies. I really love this bundle. So this is part of the sale price as well. Any stamp sets with dies bundled together are fantastic. Okay, here we go. And then I am going to be stamping our sentiment in Lost Lagoon this time. Again, another beachy color. And here we go. Just looking for the sentiment. You can do amazing things. And I think I need to spread my ink around on that. And then since I have this out right now, I'm going to go ahead and take our little scrap piece of paper and stamp our Hi Friend again. And again, it's from the Wonderful Thoughts dies as well, or stamp set as well. There we go. And then I'm going to cut that again at an angle, just like so. And then these starfish are actually a stamp in the bundle. It's this guy right here, and I stamped him in pecan pie, and then we have a die that cuts the starfish directly out. So again, I have done all of that ahead of time to save us time, and we know the magic of TV on this channel. We use it quite often. Get this out of the way, and let's go ahead and adhere our inside panel first. See, these were pretty basic fun folds, and I really hope that you guys, I encourage you to use these folds on. The beauty of fun folds is that you can pretty much use any stamp set or bundle to coordinate with it. And if you guys do any of these folds, please tag me. Again, I'm at cardsbytlc on all social media platforms. If you're not following me, I'm on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, and YouTube. So there we go, right smack in the center. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and add our ink to the centers of our sand dollars. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm just reading your comment, Patty. Yes, that is a Patty word. Fancy gatefold. Just add our sand to our sand dollar. And if you are joining us, welcome in. And if you're a first-time viewer, I would love to know in the comment section if you are viewing for the first time. And if you are watching the replay, I would also love to know if you are a first-time viewer and where you're tuning in from. If you are in the live chat, I would love to know where you are tuning in from while we continue on with making our project. And I think I need to add just a little bit more glue in this corner. It was starting to pop up on me. Okay, let's go ahead and add our panel pieces together here. And now the dog is barking. Patty is 10 minutes away from me. Yes, she is. Gail, hello. Gail, welcome in and welcome to my live. So happy to have you here. Okay, so before we get started, I'm going to come in here and you see how this kind of coordinates like so. These pieces right here are actually up on Stampin' Dimensionals. So what I'm going to do first and foremost is go ahead and close this panel piece, and we are just going to adhere this side just like normal. So again, we are going to only adhere just half of this basically. So I'm going to come in with a stronger adhesive and do a couple strips of Stampin' Seal Plus. Marva is a first-time viewer from Northeastern New York. Welcome, Marva. So happy you found us. And we're going to come in just like so. Now we are going to close this panel piece. Oh, I have a lot of first-time viewers from West Michigan. Welcome, Laura. Oh, thank you so much. I have a lot of first-time viewers. That's exciting. Well, if you like what you've seen, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button. Okay, so now we are going to close this panel like so. And what we are going to do is we're going to bring in this right side panel, and I'm going to kind of lay that down just like so. And I'm just going to, you can either bring in a pencil, which we can do. I'm going to lightly bring in a pencil just so I can see where my dimensional sheets will go. So we are going to come in here. See, this is the top part of our card base. So I'm going to come in. You can use foam sheets as well, but I'm going to just use some Stampin' Dimensionals this time. And do I have it? Nope, we're just going to have to start a new one. I'm going to come in here. Again, lay that down because I started talking. And I'm just going to start by laying one right there. And one right there. And then we're going to come in here and just add just a few more. And if you want to leave that piece down, basically this is going to be your glue that's going to be holding that panel. So you can come in here and just kind of lift that up, put one in the middle there, And then about 5 works great, or like I said, you can use a strip of the foam sheets as well. So just like so, and then I'm going to come in here and erase my little, let's get in a better eraser here. Erase that pencil mark. You don't have to do it. I was just showing you for filming purposes. And then I'm just gonna come in here and see how that butts up like so. We're gonna lay that down just to cover up that panel piece. And there you go. And that way it goes over really nicely. And now we can come in and decorate the fun part. The fun part is decorating the front. So you can come in with your glue directly, or you can add some more dimension and pop that up. I would recommend laying this flat just because when you close, it's easier to close. But you can do whatever you would like with your project. It is your project. And add our little starfish. Again, that starfish was stamped in pecan pie. Oh, gotta add our sand dollar before we add our starfish. And I thought the Lost Lagoon was the perfect match of color based on the designer paper. Or you could have used Coastal Cabana. Or you could have even stamped it in pecan pie and kept it more neutrals. Let me bring in a rag really quick. I got a little bit of happy with Tom. Like I said, he gets extra zealous sometimes. And then we're gonna come in here and add our Hi Friend tucked underneath our little sand dollar. And I'm gonna bring those up to give it a little bit more liveliness. And there we have it, my friends. There is our third fun fold. So I'm gonna bring in all 3 projects today. And I would love to know, especially if you are in the chat, which one is your favorite. We have our first one. We have project number 2. And project number 3. And if you're watching the replay, I would love to know what your favorite project was, 1, 2, or 3. Seriously, all 3. Okay, Patty is loving all 3. Again, if you're watching the replay, I would love to know what your favorite one is. As I said, in case you missed any of the sizes and dimensions, they will be on my blog again at cardsbytlc.com tomorrow, June 7th. There you will also find a link to my newsletter. Last week I mentioned every Friday I will be sharing the video from that week along with any fun color combos, sketch challenges, bonus projects, any sales that are going on. So if you have not, please subscribe to my newsletter and be sure you click that button to make sure that you don't miss out on any of the sales, especially this week. We have a lot of information going on. We have our 10% off sale, we have new kits, and I have a fun color combo challenge for you to create with. You like all of them as well? So hard to choose. I kind of like the colors on 3 as well. It just gives it that pop. I know the paper works extremely well, Jenny, with this. I was really happy how all of the projects came together. Well, I hope that you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, and I hope to see you all next week. We are going back to our normal 11 a.m. slots for more creative fun, and if you can't catch me live, I hope you can catch the replay. And all my new friends, if you liked what you've seen today, please be sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell to all. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my blog, please be sure to do so. That's where I share all of my information. And again, thank you all. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. It's going to be gorgeous around here, so I'm excited to get back out and enjoy some sunshine. And on Saturday, I get to create with some crafting friends, so I'm excited about that. But in the meantime, I will catch you all next week. Bye, everyone.